Warm greetings, Josie here, and to continue with our Major Arcana prompts for today, the card that is coming is Temperance. Temperance. A sweet respite in the pace of things, a sweet rest is kind of coming to acknowledge that this card asks for us to temper, right? To honor that multiple things move through us simultaneously. Multiple things move through us. Insights, activism, like, you know what I mean? Things that will push us to act, push us to move in certain ways that might be provoked from the fires within. And then there may also be things that ask us to or move us, push us to act in different ways. The ways that the water moves within. Sometimes those might feel more relevant or more dominant at times, since we are innately like we have a lot of water in us. This is kind of just what they're sharing. We have a lot of water in us. Scientifically proven. There is something that they're like, look at the data, 80% of our body is water. Look at the data of how much of our heart and how much of our brain consists of water. And so interestingly enough, we think at times that the fire, because the flames burn so bright, right? That the activity kind of ignites us. That we need to then temper, right? Temper and calm down the fire by embracing more of the water. But interestingly enough, the prompt here is going, well, there's lots of water. There's lots of water around us and within us. We even see with the figure, this kind of winged, divine creature, that they are actually moving water between the cups, right? There's a much more prominent experience of the emotional currents of water within us. And so at times then, instead of us dipping just like one toe into the depths that we sense within us, we almost like dive deep in. And sometimes that may be the prompt. But this is a reminder thou to surface just a bit from those wallowy depths of sludge and murk and all the things. And to acknowledge that also we need to bring in some flame, we need to bring in some fire. So what might, and sometimes what we tend to think of, or like when we are on the brink of fire, we usually access that in anger or something that ignites us or irritates us or frustrates us. And we have been told many times in our cultures and even in like our family lines to compel that, to almost like bring that down, right? Like frustration, irritation is not nice. Anger or rage, of course, it's a sacrifice. It's something that is terrible and can bring up much terror because, of course, there has been fears around those passionate hearts in our stories, in our family lines that have like rised up and shared like, no, I'm not going to put up with this. And so there was much clash has come in our pasts. They're sharing from this kind of like familial rage, the familial flames that burn bright of discord and chaos and saying, hell no, Hell no, I won't. I won't put up with this. I'm going to put up a fight. And so then there is this almost desirability to quell the flames and to just carry on in those kind of like, not even the murky depths, but in like the shallow waters, trying to maintain this equilibrium that might feel even like divinely gifted or so saintly, depicted of this like, and I'm getting like that type of nervous system regulation, that like moment of just kind of that equilibrium of containment of what actually some of the flames within us are provoking us to enact and do. And so interestingly, in this card today, it is sharing if that is our natural tendency, then isn't a temperance card asking us to actually stoke the flames just a little, to see what we tend to try to quell out and to quash out and to dampen out from our emotionality, like our emotional consistency. And to know that there's even there's truths in this card. They're like, look to how things grow. Look to what provokes those daffodils to poke through. What brings the grass, right? Like what brings the green, what brings the seasons of growth again in this healing process, right? It is the flame, it is the fire mixed with the water, of course, mixed with the breath of life, mixed. There's a mixture. And so there is something here of going, what is your tendency in your structure? Do you tend to kind of move one way or another? And yes, maybe if you are incredibly inflamed, they're sharing like especially like inflammations of the body. If you're incredibly inflamed, you might want to quell that out. And so there is something of adding, this is an interesting message, but there's something, of course, in calming the body's responsivity down in this card, and actually then moving into what that flame, like what ignited that flame, what ignited and sparked that irritation to begin with. This is like journey into I'm seeing like us like walking into the flames, walking into potentially where we feel that combustive sensation in, and sit a bit in that uncertainty of going like, what is our issues with this element, right? Like, we either like embrace it with bonfires and celebration, right? Like the wild, the light, the flame, light the candle, all of this beauteous things. But then when we actually sense that flame within us, we don't honor it as we have done in the bonfires and the candle lightings and all the prayers shared with the light, right? We don't actually almost like understand that ignition is our own wick of our own candle. And if it has ignited, then there is something humble or humbly being requested to devote some time to pray with, to speak sweet words of forgiveness, I'm sorry I have not listened to you. I'm sorry that I thought you were bad or terrible or annoying or any of that, but you are my like provoker. You are the thing that brings the light back even in the darkest of times, or even when I have tried to snuff it out. For I felt then it would be easier for me just to swim within the waters within. So this is something of then going, can we honor? And of course, that there is going to be intensifications on either side at this time. There will be times when we feel really immense emotional waves, really deep depths that kind of wish for us to pull us in, And then we have to remember, right, that flame within. We have to remember a little bit of just to ignite that action to step out of those things that are trying to pull us down. But then, just like coming back around to the flame, it's like the same thing. There might be intensifications in areas of your body that you might even sense within this message. You might even sense within the times that follow from receiving this prompt, that will come up. And instead of like shying away from that, instead of getting irritated at your body of expressing that excess, then to see, how can I tend to that flame? What have we done? What have we done to ensure the ground around our fires doesn't get scorched and burned, right? We place stone, we connect to the ground, we initiate further connection to the earth, the things that are most solid in us, things that are most solidified, our bones, right? Our, like the wood, all of the, sorry, not the wood, but like, I'm just feeling like the steadfastness of the strength of our carriage. Tap into that and know that, yes, you can kind of play this balancing act of moving back and forth from the depths to the depths to the depths to the depths to the depths of the water and the fire within. But there is a way to honor both of them, and to not shy away from one of them. Which one are you shying away from at this time? And is it because, like you feel like you're on a deadline, that time is running out so that you don't have, or you're exasperated from the journey thus far. The emotional journey can be conflicting and chaotic at times. As chaotic then as we see even on, like, they're sharing like the front lines of our world, right? The chaos that is actually active and rampant on our planet, be it from like the ecological disasters to also the immense human-made and contributed disasters in the world at this time. So there's almost then, because we see such intensifications around us, we try to then deal with that by tempering, or like playing this weird balancing act of trying to be in that middle ground. And they're like, no, but things will come back round. So if you are in the depths, yes, allow the action of your heart, allow that action of the love, allow that action, even if that flame is the tiniest little wick at this time, to help pull you out. And if you are burning and stoking bright, then what is that igniting within you? What things do you wish to kind of like justify, rectify, and enact? So how interesting. For a lot of times when we receive this card, we're kind of just going like, stand on the sidelines, right? Like just be patient, right? Just take pause. But interestingly enough, they're kind of just going, hey. Balancing does not mean then not learning from what is coming up and what is arising and what is surfacing. It is us then being able to take the wisdom that is being carried in both and going, okay, where am I being nudged to lead within my bodily functions at this time? What is arising within my beautiful form to whisper and to then potentially like say a little louder what may not be fine right now. And there are times then that frustration will come up, because we'll be like, but we've tried and time again. There's a lot of frustration in our ancestral lines, for there it seems that multiple patterns have played out time and time again. And so there is something about then taking gently that knowledge and moving between the two, moving where the depths take you of those waters within, the currents and how they flow into your life, out of your life, right? As well as then maintaining though that flame, that devotional wick within, to acknowledge and remember that, yes, I might be continuously sorting through what I feel is like the emotionality of this experience, but there is something also of my divine intelligence. There is something of my life force that is provoking me to potentially enact just a little different way. And so yes, those steps may be gentle right now. Those steps the steps might be like subtle at this time, right? It's not that we might be like running into a burning fire in a burning building and all of those things. We have learned from some of our actions previously by this time, right? We have learned from them, but spread your wings. Allow yourself to accommodate both of those wisdoms within that you carry, and see how can I access both of those teachings, and then find something that's not a happy medium, but actually like a balanced effort forwards, a balanced kind of, it's almost like they're like a negotiation between those sides of us to allow us to step forward in our truth, in our connection, and our acknowledgement of also that we carry fire. We carry fire, and we have the ability to enact, and to know that a lot of those times, even when we feel like those rages and those fires blaze and raise the ground around us, we know that flame, right, that volcanic soil, or like that flamed and charred ground, turns into most rich and fertile soil, which can nurture the seeds that are being like that are embedded deep in, and that are slowly rising up. Don't let them, like, don't stop the growth. Don't inhibit the growth at this time, but let it just like take its time. Take its time as you sift through all of the things that are coming through. Another strong and swift message. I'll see how I can cut the video. And of course, always the full video will be up on my YouTube. You're welcome to subscribe, connect, and all of those great things. We are in immense times, big breaths. Gather your stones close. Remember your ancestral cloaks, and honor that as much as the stories that are carried that we may be like moving through, that there is also much wisdom to be gleaned. And so acknowledge that that wisdom can support you as you traverse through this landscape. And this the key word that keeps coming through is negotiate. It's like negotiate between those two things that are you're feeling within, that kind of thing that might feel conflicting, and so you need to then bring it into one way or another. Let yourself negotiate with those different aspects of you. Give yourself some time to kind of like see all of those things, even if they feel conflicting in, and then go, how would I mediate that connection between me, myself, and I? Temperance. Enjoy this message on these sacred days. Take care.